Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of Brass Ring Media here on the Brass Ring Media Network. No, I'm not in heaven with the halo above my head. I just have some lighting that last time I put plastic bags over. Didn't have time to do it today. But I'm not Zach Hadorn. I'm Tyler Sage, if I can point at the right thing. And then joining me today is Brass Ring Gold member, friend of the show, friend of everybody, Sean Plichta. Do I say that right when I say that, Sean?
Yeah, that's it.
I'm always like, some people are like, I'm okay with names. I'm like just petrified to get people's names not pronounced correctly. But then, you meet people in life that you've known them and they change their pronunciation of their last name like 3 times. So then that kind of goes up to the like, well, kayfabe, buddy. You got to choose one and go with it. So yeah, welcome in. We're here to talk mainly Monday Night Raw, an eventful show.
Yeah.
Some good, some bad, some actually bad, obviously, with the Liv Morgan talk. We'll get into that. But yeah, this is Brass Ring Media, and Zach usually does the plugs. He's out tonight. So I'll do the best I can. Sean, you're a Patreon member. Can you tell some of the fine folks out here what it's like to be a Patreon member? For your full honest review. Just because you're here on the show doesn't mean you have to lie either. So what do you get? What's the deal? All that good stuff.
Well, of course, if I'm a Patreon member, I must actually enjoy it, because why would I still be a member for this long if I didn't enjoy it, right? And I'm glad to be you for a day. This is kind of cool. I don't mind being you. I just looked at that's great. No, it's just fun being in especially the Discord, man. Just with Adam, all the members we have, just chatting, get to chat about wrestling, but sports, movies, music, all kinds of cool stuff. It's just fun being able to chat with people that are like-minded like you and love this same thing that I do. So it's just fun in that realm. And yeah, it's you got to be a member. Why would you not want to be a Brass Ring Media member? And Zach, I hope to do you justice, man. I know when you're not here, it's not the same, but I'm going to do the best I can to make it worthwhile for everyone on here that's here in the chat.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that, Sean. Some of the things the Discord has mentioned there, right? You have to be a Patreon member to get part of that discussion. My favorite part of that, when I can watch pay-per-views live, which is not always the case anymore, based on just my life. But man, just like talking wrestling with people, you can't always have like a lot of us maybe are not lucky enough to have hardcore wrestling fans in our direct life physically with us, right? So it's a fun way of like, back in the day when I would have people over and we would watch, I'd pay $60 for the Big Show versus John Cena in the main event of some crappy 2013 WWE pay-per-view. I had a great time doing it every step of the way. It's like that with a group of friends. You also get multiple Patreon exclusive shows each week. If there's pay-per-view, we do a review there. There's always a Thursday show where Zach and I have on the docket still. Did you catch up my Ramon comment last week? I think you were not live with us, Sean.
I don't think I did. I don't think I was able to even go back yet either and check it out. But.
Well, Punk had a Ramon shirt on 2 weeks ago, last week.
Yeah. And
I was like, just talking about how that's such a fitting thing for a guy like CM Punk to be. And then I got this whole thing of like people in my life that are like that don't even know anything about music, and I kind of rail on the Ramones. So that is a future Patreon exclusive show, is Tyler being a pretentious music guy. So please be looking forward to that. You also get lots of written stuff from Zach and Dominic's news hits, and occasionally me. There's an article I wrote kind of laying out how Jey Uso was going to be a heel, and that was as of right now, a colossal flop. So that's fun to go back and read and take a chance. There's a dead article that one day I'll publish. Definitely not about somebody on my cup currently.
No. Oh no.
And how they X the media member out of the space. So
reviews are great too on the PLEs and pay-per-views. Even though I totally disagreed with the AEW one, but that's a whole other story. But
but
I love hearing
that's par for the course. That's why we like having you around, Sean. You balance at least me out. You're not like the opposite of great friend of the show, Zach, Dr. Zach. But but you are kind of the equivalent there for WWE, in my opinion. Not exactly the same, right? You will criticize it, but all that good stuff. So hey, let's get in the show. I have two very important questions for you to start the show, Sean.
Okay.
Kind of unrelated to, not unrelated to things, but I've already forgotten the second one, so let's go to the first one first.
That's fair.
Oh no, I do. I remember them now. So do you want like the kind of serious one first or the funny one first?
Oh, let's go with the serious one first. That way we can get the funny one later.
If you were Tony Khan, I don't know if you saw and this is just like me having fun, messing around. I don't think it's going to happen. So just clarity there for everybody.
Okay.
If you were Tony Khan and let's say you are getting rumblings that TKO is not loving paying Roman Reigns $15 million a year to wrestle a few times, what number would you pay legitimately, right? You can't just say like $11 billion. But if you're Tony Khan, how much money would you be willing to pay Roman Reigns to jump ship and join AEW?
Ooh, that's a good question. And I'm glad we don't talk about this beforehand because that would be, I'd have too much time to think about it. And that's what's been so annoying, right? I like that Roman was able to get his own schedule, and that's fine. He worked hard enough for it. He earned it. I mean, I'm fine with that. It just feels like now it's been so bad, just him not being on TV for such a long period of time. For me, it'd be, I'd tell Roman, first off, if he wants to come, he's got to be on TV more. Like, he can't just be a once every month, once every 2 month, 3 month guy. Like, that's just, if I'm going to pay you that much money to come, you better be willing to be on shows and better be willing to be there and be with the guys and all that kind of thing. So that's really, to me, what it boils down to. If he's not willing to do that, I probably just wouldn't even have him anyway because it's not worth the trouble. He's a big star, but AEW has a lot of big stars now. They don't really need a Roman Reigns type per se, right? So if he's willing to be on every show or most every show, be a normal full-time character, I mean, I would say just whatever he wants. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think he's done so well in WWE, even though it was bad for a long period of time. But once he decided, hey, I'm going to turn heel, and I don't know what made him decide to do it, but I know the bloodline probably helped just knowing they were going to develop that story over so many years. But yeah, if he's willing, that's what it boils down to for me, just being a full-time guy. If he's not going to be full-time, if he's just going to do what he's doing now, I wouldn't even, I just don't want him. I don't want to waste the trouble if they don't need him. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. You didn't give me a number, so I want to stretch that out of you.
So if he's coming, I would say give him the same that he's getting from WWE, at least the same, if not maybe a little bit more. Okay. Because he's got the money. So that's not the issue with Tony.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to happen. It's more of an exercise for me to bounce off of you of like, hey, let's say WWE was like, hey, we don't want to pay you this. I do think there's like a world where he can be like, okay, I'll walk and I'll go get the exact same amount, if not a little more, from another company. Which is certainly not the case, 6 years ago, 10 years ago. So I don't think that's going to happen, just to be very, very clear. But, Roman Reigns, who knows what his name would be. Couldn't be his real name, I don't think, just from a marketing standpoint. But, maybe Samoa Joe. Oh, no, that's taken. That was one of my favorite eras of wrestling when both world champions were Samoan guys named Joe. So
right.
That was really funny. So thank you for that. My kind of jokey question for you is, if you could add 3 more people to last night's main event, who would it be and why?
Oh, wow.
You don't have to really answer that, but that was more just like, man, there's a lot of people in this, and feels like I'm watching Stone Cold in 1998 or something. Which is a golden era. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would have just put in, I would have had the people that interfered. I would have just probably had them in the match just because they interfered. So just put them in the match. I mean, if you're going to have them all in there, just put them in there. Yeah, but too much interference. WWE's gotten in a habit of that. Fatal, and again, 4-way matches, sloppy rules. Anything could happen. And, it's just kind of ridiculous. I mean, anyway.
Yeah. So. And we'll get to that. I think I want to do that at the end just because there's a lot to build off of that. But I've got 5 topics from the show that I deem wanting to talk about. So let's start with, we've had a little fun to start. Let's bring it back down to earth, sadness, etc. let's talk about Liv Morgan. Let's talk about the opening promo, what we thought about that. What does that mean, or what did that mean? And obviously the injury. I think last time, or I was looking before this, it's like 16 weeks seems to be the estimate. Which is a long time. That's 4 months, right? No, more than that. What is that? No, it's 4 months. 4 months, yeah. So, that puts you basically at, you just wait and then reappear at the Rumble. That's where you are with the injury of that length currently. So, thoughts on Liv opening the show, which felt very impactful for me, and then the injury, all that sort of stuff that you want to talk about.
Yeah, I love the promo to start. I just love what Liv's doing as a heel. I just think she's her character is just in such a better place now. Like, she's in a spot where you want to boo her, but you still kind of like what she's doing, so you're enjoying it, but in the way you're supposed to. Like, I want to boo her when she's coming out. I want to, and it was fun. Her and Dom would just have such a good chemistry together. Like, I love everything about that. Dom's still getting the great reactions. They're still booing the heck out of him, even though I still think a face turn is coming very soon. I don't know when. I hope it's not too soon. I do love the thought of him being a face, but it's way too soon for that. But promo stuff with Io coming out, I just feel like Io still feels like she's kind of left out in the dark. It seems like she won the title and just feels like they haven't had her on TV much at all recently. And is that a good thing? I don't think so. I think you want your world champion to be on TV and be able to cut promos. And I think Io's gotten better speaking English. I think I understood her very well last night. It was good. And Liv Io, just the thought of it was really cool. And then the injury, it was such a freak thing because, when it happened, I was like, it didn't seem like much when they first showed the angle. I was like, oh, that can't be that much. But then they showed it. It's like, okay, you could see where she could have dislocated it. But it seemed like, I was listening to Wade last night, and he was talking about, well, he's dislocated it. And if you pop it right back in place, easy, it could be quick, but just be sore for a little while, where it might not be as bad as some of the ones, we've seen where it takes a while. So I don't know if they want to they're able to get it back and kind of get it where it starts healing in the healing process. If they want to get her at least on TV to kind of build the storyline with what they've done with her and Io, her and Roxanne, kind of build some of that stuff up with the Judgment Day. It just feels weird her being off TV for that long and then all of a sudden just kind of come back. But I don't know. The injury just sucked. I just felt bad. They've had that, and sorry if you hear any rain in the background. It's pouring down all get out outside where I'm at right now. But so the injury sucked. But the promo at the beginning was great. I really enjoyed her and Io playing off each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're so right. That's why I like the injury. It's impactful, not just for the women's main event scene. Obviously there's a big tag title match still basically on track for Evolution, even if Liv can't go, which is nice to have an extra member in the Judgment Day. So that's kind of apropos that happened. But I do think, especially with Liv, a lot of what she's done, besides the opening promo last night, has set up for a babyface turn at some point in the intermediate future. And her and Dom doing that together made sense, breaking away from Judgment Day. Now it's kind of like, okay, do you if you're Triple H, is it Dom now pairs with Roxanne, and then Liv's pissed when she comes back officially, and Liv's a babyface completely when she comes back, and Dom is still a bad guy for doing that to Liv, just like he did it to Rhea. So I think there is some finagling you have to do because of the injury if it is a prolonged period of time. But just, how many episodes of Raw have there been? We don't need to look it up. 1,800, something like that.
Yeah.
And not all of them have opening promos. But, that's a big number. But in the sport, how many people have gotten to go out there and be the first one to talk in a promo to start an episode of Raw? It's a pretty illustrious group of people that have done that. And to have Liv Morgan do it, it's just a sign of where they think of her, et cetera. So this said, and WWE had a lot of faith in Japanese women last night to talk, which I thought was fine. Like you brought it up. We had Kairi and Asuka talking. So I think that's a positive sign too, just as a side note, because you mentioned it already. We're hoping that Liv gets better sooner rather than later. If not, I do think they probably just hold off till Rumble and try and do something big with her coming back around then. because we've seen the opposite where you have big stars come back, not at the Rumble, but maybe the next day, and Becky comes to mind there. And it's just impactful to have some Rumble debuts, and Liv would fit for to be the big surprise on that everyone knows.
That's true. Yeah, that would be fun. And I loved it when she said I'm a 4-time tag team champion. If the tag team titles have been built up, then it might mean a little bit more. But it was just funny coming from her.
Yeah, an illustrious history. Probably because it doesn't have any lineage tied to the Divas title.
True.
And that would have been good to tie that together if I was giving notes on that promo from a writing standpoint. That it's her trying to say that just because Nikki Bella touched this title indirectly, because the lineage goes back to the Divas title, that it's not something she cares about. So, but time to still do that. Because I'm not saying Nikki needs money, but her being here a little longer than usual, I think wouldn't surprise me either. Doing a residency here, John Cena style. Let's move on. Unless you have anything else to say about Liv and anything else that transpired there, Sean.
No, Io was good. I just I like her as a face. I didn't like her as a heel, so I'm loving her as a face, and just the fans want to get behind her, so I'm loving. I just hope they have a good run for her with the title. I just don't want her to lose it super quick.
Yeah, you don't want her to have Naomi cash in on her for some reason. That'd be disappointing.
Yeah, not right away. I mean, down the line, if they hold it on her for a while, maybe. But it depends on what's going on with Jade, and we'll talk more about that.
Yeah, best theme music, entrance music in the company currently, I would say.
EOS? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's awesome. Love it. So don't change it, WWE. Do not change it. Stop.
The power of a good entrance song there. All right, let's move on to Gunther. His celebration of winning the world title. Got lots of pyro, got lots of booze. Said that Jay's a good man, not a good champion, something to that extent. And that he was a better man on WrestleMania night, but Gunther's a better man every other night. I like that in kayfabe. Again, the Gunther character reminds me a lot of Liv Morgan, of basically everything he does is pretty babyface. He just gets booed doing it. He wins cleanly. He tells you what he's going to do, and he does it. So interesting character that has got ebbed and flowed here on what that is. So where are you at with before we get into the Goldberg of it all? And then I'll have all my laughs and all my jokes ready to go. But where are you on Gunther post-title run? Where are you with this character? How did you feel about the title change? All that stuff. Just kind of unload on this situation.
So when Gunther, obviously, when he first lost the title, I didn't like the tap out. The pass out, tap out, I know we talk about that a lot. I still didn't like him tapping out so quickly. Mm-hmm. So I didn't love him really losing the title to begin with, Jay. We've seen he just, he's a good character. He's just not a very good champion. His matches continuously, even though people were higher on the match last week than I was, it was okay. I mean, the sleeper they built into that, it was fine. But just him hanging on for so long just seemed kind of weird after Gunther had just tapped out to it at Mania. Gunther's character, I know we've been talking a lot, going to it, when is he going to turn face? Is it kind of imminent? And I just don't really want it right now. I want it down the line. I just don't really want it right now. I think he's such a good heel, such a good arrogant heel, such a good giving him credit, but then saying, "Oh, I'm still better than you," kind of heel. So I love the promo. Or I didn't love it. I liked it. It was good. It was very good, very solid kind of follow up. Love Gunther, the title back on him. I think he needs it right now. I just want him to continue to be the arrogant heel that he's been, and continue to build into that. I don't know how. There's so many possibilities now that we're going to talk about here in a little bit, but I like his character now with the title. I just keep him in that heel role for a while, and I'm digging it. I like it. There's a lot of possibilities with the title now, but I think he needs to hold on to it for a while.
So the crowd chants Goldberg's name. Gunther says, no, that's a rumor. That guy stinks. I told him to shove off back in Atlanta. Then you hear, dun, 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 dun. the opposite of Io Sky's music, I would say, is Goldberg's entrance music. It is like, sound and smell are the most memory like response senses that we have. And literally like hearing that music, we haven't heard it for 3 years, right? Since he's been on like WWE TV. I mean, maybe he's been like popped on TV and stuff, but he hasn't had a match for 3 years.
Okay.
It was him and Braun Strowman in 21. If anyone in the chat wants to check me on that, I think there was some like weird, I think there were humans in the arena. But who knows? But just it reminded me of him, of Goldberg defeating Kevin Owens, and then the Fiend, right? Both times when like those guys did not need that to happen. So, rough stuff. Anyway, Goldberg comes out sweating like crazy, out of breath from walking to the ring. Does the whole "your next" thing, etc. So my pointed question here, my specific question to you, Sean, is: I understand this was like on the books. I understand this is the retirement tour of a guy who makes lots of money for the company and continues to do so, right? The crowd is into this. I'm sure he sold a lot of those shirts last night in the arena. But thank you, Derek, in the chat. Let me pop this up, Derek. His last match was Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber 22.
I was going to say, I thought he fought Roman recently, too. It was pretty recent.
So there you go. But here's my thing. Like, I don't think the title change personally happened just to get this match, to make it a title match, even though they didn't really say it was a title match. I assume it is.
They just they specified.
They did. Okay. But yeah, I mean, if you're, let's say, 1% interested in this match, what percentage of that 1% are you intrigued by this because the title's on the line? Because for me, it's 0. And it's like a personal issue, and it's like okay, cool, I get to see Gunther beat Goldberg. That's cool. But beyond that, like, I hope that there's a bigger plan in place here than just like they wanted this to be a title match to go against or take buys away from All In. So thoughts on this being a title match and the match itself?
Yeah, the match itself, I don't care. I don't care at all. I hate it. I knew it was coming. Like you said, we all knew this was imminent. It was going to happen. It's in Atlanta. It's Saturday Night's Main Event. They're going to do that. Goldberg had his run. Again, it was fine. I mean, I'm nothing against Goldberg as whatever. He had a good run when he first came back against Brock. I loved it. I thought it was great. The Mania match was fine. And then he just kept coming back little by little every year, and it just kind of wears out its welcome over time. And I just don't – Gunther doesn't need to be legitimized by a win over Bill Goldberg. He's been legitimized for years now. We don't need him to beat Goldberg to do that. And, yeah, it's in his hometown. That's fine. Goldberg's had many paydays over his career. He doesn't need another one. The fans, I almost wanted to boo the fans for cheering him. Like, why are they so excited this is happening? I guess they're just like, oh, it's Goldberg. He's here. I'm seeing him live. That's cool. I get that. But it being a title match, it didn't need to be a title match. Yeah, it makes it a bigger, I guess, feel like a bigger deal because it is for the world title. But we know what's going to happen, so there's no intrigue in it. Just curious how long the match is. Doesn't need to be longer than 5 minutes tops. I mean, we've seen Goldberg matches. We know what they are. Hopefully Gunther chops him a lot. That would be cool. I'm excited about that. But, yeah, for me personally, I'm not interested in it, but we'll see what they do.
Yeah, I mean, as a main event, too. We'll see if it actually is the main event. Obviously, Goldberg is quick to talk.
I would assume so.
Yeah, but, like, can it be 5 minutes then if it is the main event? Like, just structurally? Or is this like a street fight? This is built into a street fight where, they can brawl on the outside and save some cardio for Goldberg there. I don't know. Or a third member, someone comes in and whatever. I don't know. Like, not my job. I'm glad it's not my job. But I certainly will be, watching this on Sunday, July 13th, as I am watching All In, that's for sure.
As well. I'm with you. I will be watching All In.
Yeah. So, but hey, good for them for, I guess, trying to counter program. Yeah, I mean, so we do here. I mean, and like my follow-up question here is like, if this was going to be like a Goldberg versus the current champion, isn't, well, I don't want to lead you. You can tell my opinion, by the way, I'm going to ask this, but isn't like Jey Uso and Goldberg like a much more intriguing matchup than this one? If you had to do Goldberg in this match?
Is it more intriguing? Yes. The match,
because he could lose to Goldberg. You'd be like, oh my God, they're gonna have him drop it to Goldberg. This is crazy. I hate this.
No, it'd be crazy. No, I wouldn't want to see it because again, it would be just an awful match. Whatever 5 minutes it would be, it'd be so awful. I mean, the Jey in the match last night was just. I mean, the spear on Bronson was so terrible. And
that headbutt spear that he did, the one before the final one.
All the super kicks. I mean, he does nothing for me in the ring, and so the thought of that makes me ill. So I would not have wanted to see a Jey Goldberg match in any way.
Yeah, well, you can see like who's got the worst spear as like the gimmick, the meta of the match.
Goldberg has a good spear. It's actually okay. It's not bad.
Yeah. So it's been a while. It's been a minute though. It's been 3 years, and like if he's that one to go into the ring, I'm worried about what that spear's going to look like too. So, but I don't know. Hopefully, it's just like it'd be very cathartic if it's like, jackhammer, spear, and Gunther kicks out of one, and then just like chokes him out. That'd be awesome.
That's probably What does the chat say about it? What are they saying about it? Are they saying anything about it? What chat? Help us out. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Derek's with us saying, Gunther doesn't need it to be legitimate, just like a pelt on his wall. He doesn't think it's going to last more than 10 minutes.
10? Good Lord have mercy. What are you saying? 10 minutes? Good
yeah,
Lord.
It doesn't last longer than 10 minutes. So
it doesn't need to go longer than 5. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it needs to be like that's like chop, 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 chop. Jackhammer, spear. Gunther's finisher, which is
powerbomb.
Powerbomb. Okay.
Or the sleeper. I mean, he could do the sleep, but he could do the powerbomb first and then do a sleeper.
Yeah, he's more like to me, he's a wrestler without like has to hit it to win, which I kind of like in modern wrestling.
And I still can't get over why Axiom kicked out of a powerbomb, dude. Yeah. Axiom kicking out of a powerbomb. What? I mean, I still can't get over. People argue how good of a match that was. That should not have been going 9 minutes, and Axiom should not have been kicking out of freaking power bombs. I'm sorry. It's just ridiculous. It's crazy.
All right, we'll backtrack a little bit on the show here. I think we're good on that. We'll see some more of what we have. About a month of build there, so we'll probably see Bill 2 more times, maybe, before the main event segment. So whatever. Maybe his kid can get some NIL money and come in and beat up Gunther. You know he's going to be there, so Gunther with your family present. Don't like those odds for the non-Gunther participant. Let's go to the women's 4-way match. We had it was Asuka and Stephanie McCure. Who else was in it?
Raquel and Ivy Nile.
Thank you. I mean, obviously, the structure of these 4 ways has been like 2 people that can win and 2 people that can't win, which is a good way to structure a 4-way. So you have bodies in there everywhere. Obviously, before Liv's injured, you get Raquel losing again and starting that fracture between the 2 of them. That, again, is like Liv Morgan, obviously, bad time for an injury because she was very present on this entire show. She was more the focal point than Cody Rhodes was, than Gunther was. I mean, she was the focal point of the show, storyline-wise.
She was.
So it's just crazy. But we had Asuka in her return, getting the win here, protecting Stephanie. Thoughts on this match? I thought it was one of the major events of the show.
No, I thought it was a good match. Great to see Asuka back. I liked her when she didn't have all the face paint that she does now. I kind of wish they would have gone back to the original Asuka. Not that it really matters. I mean, it was fine because when she did the mist in a lot of matches, it just kind of did. I hope they don't go back to that. I didn't really care for a lot of that. I like the old Asuka, dominating. More focus on the wrestling aspect, and they did here. I mean, which was good. But the care is just a star in the making. I mean, I love what they're doing with her so far, and. Yeah, Raquel and Ivy took some good bumps. I thought it was a fine match, and Asuka winning made a lot of sense. You don't want her to, not win her first match back, even though it isn't a 4-way. But the four her against Alexa is very intriguing, on SmackDown because, for me it's do you want Asuka to lose a match like that right away? But Alexa, I feel like there's something in the making with her. They've been doing stuff with her and Charlotte, kind of playing that back here and there, them speaking with each other and kind of building to something like that. And so I don't know where they're going with it, which is good. I don't know which way they'll go. I mean, I assume Asuka would win, but I don't know. But the match was good. Yeah, it just was fine for what it was. I was into it.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss to me has like a little bit of like Gunther before last week vibes of like, what are we doing with this character? Why are we just like burying them for really no reason? So we'll see. With Gunther, they obviously activated him, and now he's a focal point of the show again. So we'll see if that happens there. Yeah, that was a fun match, and Asuka getting the win made sense. Stephanie being protected in not winning. And yeah, you don't want to give her a title shot because then she's got to win, right? That classic like hot new thing versus like a Tiffany Stratton or an Io Sky. Like the crowd's going to totally want any of the new people to win because it's just like a fresher look. So makes sense. Let's go to the interaction of two of the four horsewomen. We've got the promo between Becky and Bayley, where we will have a match that I will not be able to see in Columbus, Ohio next week because I'm driving it. I'll be in your neck of the woods for a brief period of time tomorrow.
Okay. Cool.
I'm going to Asheville to go beat up FTR personally. Not really, but I am going to Asheville. So that'll be fun. But I'll drive at least through your beautiful state at some point. But yes, what was I? Oh, I think a surprise obviously leads to. I think we can preview in the same bit here that there's going to be a schmoz finish to that match that gets us a match at Evolution. But we have Bayley and Becky in a Intercontinental Women's Championship match next week on Raw. We have this promo. Thoughts on this? And obviously, if you want to talk about Lyra, kind of being pissed at Bayley for jumping ahead of her, etc. Talk about whatever you'd like about this.
So, I thought the promo it was fine. Bayley still. I thought the reaction was pretty muted. I didn't think she got a super huge pop when she came out. I think her character is just in such a weird place. I mean, it's partly some of the booking, partly some of her. I think it's a little bit of both. I just feel like whatever she's been doing just hasn't been latching on with the fans. They just don't seem like they're last year at Mania, when she beat Io, won the title, they were behind her then, and then this last year it just feels like it's been kind of muddled, they don't know what they really want to do with her. Mm-hmm. I thought the promo, Becky is good. She's leaning into the heel role really well right now, and I like it. I think she's good as a heel now. I think she had her long run as a face, and the fans, I think, do just kind of are leaning into it now, which is good. They're booing her, which I like. It was fine. Bayley, it seems weird that you would just go to Bayley, Becky in a match, even though they have the personal issue from before when Bayley attacked her and all that kind of stuff. That makes sense, but then you've had all the stuff with Lyra and Becky, and then all of a sudden Bayley just like, I'm going to have a title match next week. It seemed a little odd, but like you said, I think Lyra's going to get involved somehow, and they're going to build to, I guess, a three-way, which, again, I don't need that. It makes sense because they're all feuding with each other, but I just want one-on-one matches to build to another one-on-one match. And so Lyra's been doing really well, and that's what I'm, like people have said, when she gets away from this, I'm curious where she goes, like if she can latch on to something, a different story, and to because I think her character's in a better place than it was 6 months ago, because she was just a bird lady, and that's all she was. As Adam says, she was C-SPAN. She just didn't offer a whole lot other than the fact she could go in the ring. But the match, it's going to be probably, like you said, a schmoz, which kind of sucks. But I like the interplay with. I just don't know where they're going with Bayley right now, because, like I said, I just feel like she's in a weird spot, and I don't feel like the fans are really on that journey with her right now, and that's kind of an issue if you're going to push her as a face. I don't, she needs to get some kind of fan reaction. She got okay reaction, but it wasn't a huge pop when she came out.
Yeah,
so that worries me.
It was like her journey is to Jacksonville, Florida, but I don't know. I don't know what her contract is, but certainly seems like it's mutual at this point. The way she's used, cared about, etc.
She doesn't want to leave. I know she does not want to leave. I know she's been a WWE lifer. I think she really does love being there. I think she wants to have something stick. But I just don't. It feels like it felt as good as. I mean, the promo was fine, but it still wasn't as good as I remember these guys could have done 2-3 years ago. It didn't live up to the expectation for me.
Yeah, for sure. And that's like, one of the things of like being around each other, and not that it's been a minute since they've interacted, right? So it's not like it's like Cena and Orton, but I mean, it's kind of that same vibe of like, here's like of the last 20 years and really of women's history in WWE. These are your like, this is Triple H and Undertaker going at it at Saudi Arabia at this point, right? It's kind of what this feels like. So, it is what it is. We'll see where it goes. And the Lyra thing, I think, is important. Of like, I don't know where, because like I don't want her beating like Roxanne or Stephanie or Julia, and then like or Rhea, because she's not, I don't think she's as much of an asset as any of those women are. But then do you want her like going against Alexa Bliss and winning that feud? Like, not really. If it's like her and a legend, is she going to beat like a Nikki Bella type? Probably not. So she's in a weird spot still. I do agree that her stock has risen post Becky. So it's like kind of, my opinion is like, get out while the getting's good, as opposed to like then like sticking around and being in this triple threat. But hey, I mean, as a talent, you're not going to say no to being on the Evolution card. So
yeah, I'm more into. It's weird to say, as much as I love Becky or Bailey. I mean, I do like Bailey a lot. I'm more interested in Lyra where she's going than I am with Bailey, and that's kind of unfortunate because Bailey has been a really mainstay for a long period of time, and it just feels like a weird spot.
Yeah. Anything else on the show before the main event that you wanted to talk about, Sean? That was all that I had written down. That was not the main event.
The AJ JD match was good. I liked it a lot. AJ. Going after the IC title sounds good. I'm into it. I've just been an AJ fan. I like that they're at least doing something with him, even if it's just a mid card, which is fine. That's kind of where he is right now. He's not a main event. He's at that age where it just wouldn't make a lot of sense having him. He could have main event style matches, but his character's not in that spot anymore. It's just a good mid card role, and him and Dom, I think, could have a fine IC title match. But I thought the match with JD was good. JD takes great bumps. It's fine for what it was. Nothing else I can remember offhand before the main event. Nothing like blew me away that I can remember off the top of my head.
Well, another person who he'll probably at some point making the short drive from Gainesville, Florida to Jacksonville, Florida, if I did guess, in AJ Styles. So we'll see about that. One side note, we're talking about Judgment Day a little bit here. JD McDonough just being brought up. Very strangely, I saw and met Carlito this weekend at a bar in Columbus. Okay. It was very strange. So I figured I'd tell the group because it was this. I'm trying to run through like all the regulars' heads. There's this chain of bars called Goodnight John Boy, which is like a 70s sitcom themed bar. It was Pride weekend, so it was like crazy in downtown Columbus. So I was there, and my brother-in-law was like, "Hey man, is that Carlito?" And I was like the wrestler? And I looked over, it was, and I was like, "What?" Very strange. I don't know. I think there were shows. Whenever shook his hand, so I was a big fan. And then he had a very attractive young lady who was trying to get his attention, so I let him go. And hopefully he was able to make a friendship that night. But just a fun story. He was just randomly there. I said hi. That was it. But big guy. Carly's a big human being. So.
Oh yeah, I could tell. Yeah, I could see him. I'd be walking. Well, I got to get away from you because you make me.
Yeah. So wrestlers are big. Can confirm. Anyway, let's get to the main event. We had. Oh man, it's been almost 24 hours since I saw this. We had Bronson Reed. We had Rusev. We had Jey Uso and Sheamus.
Yes, we did.
Okay, cool. Sheamus was the one I was like, I think it was Sheamus. Obviously, Rusev and Sheamus were dead for the very end of this match, so it doesn't really matter. They were filler. Again, two guys who could win. I guess Bronson, if you want to tell a story there, and Jey Uso. But, this match, pretty standard 4-way action. And then, I'm going to miss a couple in here. But at the end, what's the first run in? Is the first run in Braun Breaker?
Yeah, I believe Breaker.
First run in?
Yeah.
And then we had.
Then it was, oh gosh.
LA Knight?
Because somebody was before LA Knight, but I can't remember. I just watched it.
Sammy countered Braun, and then LA Knight screwed over Bronson.
Yep.
And then the finish happened.
Yeah, that's when they put him back in, and Jade did all this.
Penta too. Thank you, Derek.
Penta. Yes, the high.
Yeah,
the high
this is like insane in the membrane. That's why I was like, I'm not going to remember all these. And then Seth comes out.
Too much.
And Cody comes out. I think that's everybody.
Yeah.
So it was a lot. Anything on the match itself before we get into
fine. Bronson. It's fun to see him back. I love that he's with Seth's group. He did some cool stuff. The stuff with Sheamus and Rusev was good. I think the feud with them is going to be fun. I'm intrigued, where they go. I assume Rusev would win the feud, but it has old story behind it, which is good. But Jay was I just remember how just not good Jay was in the ring. It was just nothing about. Like I said, I love him as a character. Coming through the crowd's cool. The stuff with him is cool. Him in the ring does nothing for me, and it just all the stuff with him didn't look good, and him winning Penny Bronson was interesting, very interesting. I didn't think they would go. I just thought Sheamus might take it. Not that it matters in a 4-way, but Bronson, I just didn't know if he would take the pin there. But it made sense with all the shenanigans they had in the match. So, but it was fine. It was okay.
Mm-hmm. And Sean, you can't see the chat, right? Because you asked earlier.
I cannot. No.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. I'll pull up some strategic ones from Adam here. Adam's in the chat. Hello, Adam, fellow gold member. It's could have had a way more handsome
coat. Adam, that is below the belt. I'm sorry. I'm not attractive, but come on, dude. Really, that's just so mean. I would never see you, my friend. Come on now. Come on.
Adam's name is right here. I would say for people that don't know what Adam looks like, maybe change your avatar so they can see your handsome face.
He's a good-looking dude.
As a start.
Dude, I would.
He also says he's bigger than Carlito. So there you go.
That could be true. I could believe that. I could actually believe that. That would not be out of the realm of possibility. I could see it.
And then Mike is in the chat as well. Hello, Mike. He said missed opportunity, Adam. LOL. So, so we'll get you guys all rotated through. Zach had to cancel last minute, so Sean got the bat signal. So you guys are all in the rotation. Don't worry.
Oh yeah. One day we got to have See, I'd love to have a 5-way because with Zach in there, we got to have Zach. I've never seen his face before, so I've got to see his face at some point. I got to know who this person is I've been talking to for 3 years. Mm-hmm. So, but we got to do a fatal 5-way at some point or a 6-way. It's a good Zach and is a 6-way. Let's go. We got to all get there.
Some of the best 5 and 6 ways I've ever had, I didn't see everybody's face. So, all right, sorry, that's all I could think of. Anyway. Let's talk about all these run-ins. What does it mean? Obviously, we have Seth Rollins' faction versus Cody and Jay and Sammy, right? If that's its own, good guys of WWE versus, the bad guys of WWE. I guess, is that working? Have you – I'm a, self-affirming Seth Rollins apologist. I know it's not always a very popular opinion. He has certainly taken a sizable step down on his presence on the show recently, the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it has.
So, what do you think about that? Is that because he's got the briefcase and they want him to be in the shadows? Or is that, you think, a decision of hey, this is not working and let's drop this a little bit? Or what do you think's going on there?
It's weird because you would, with the Money in the Bank, you'd be wanting to show that around and flaunt it a lot. So that would be weird if they wanted, I could see them wanting to tease it, kind of coming out of nowhere. I could see that part where they might want to kind of do that. But with him, this faction, I can't see how they wouldn't like it. I like what they've done with it so far. Obviously, I would Heyman's been involved in the matches, which I've really enjoyed, but I definitely want Heyman to speak more. But I think at the same time, they're like, well, they have Seth, who is a good talker. I mean, he's good at in the promo game. But I think if you have Heyman with you, I think you want to have Heyman in this more talking, more involved in that sense. But it is weird that Seth hasn't really been around the last couple weeks as much. That has been interesting to me. Here's what I thought when I talked about this. That's why I want to talk about the last few minutes we have, talk about the bracket for the King of the Ring, because it to me it is weird they're all faces. That's really strange. How you'd have all four, Sammy, Orton, and then Cody J. That just seems so interesting where they're going to go, and it's intriguing because I don't know where they're going to go. I can't see Jay beating Cody, but I don't. Do you want to have Cody against Jay, who's getting the good reactions, who's getting over really well, where Cody's been getting still good, reactions? I'm still into him, and then you have Cody. I'm assuming they're going to do Cody Sammy in the final. To where is that officially where Sammy's going to turn heel if he doesn't win? And that's where the heel turn starts with him? Or I'm just curious where they're going with the four faces. Just seem really interesting to me why they would do that.
Yeah. I think the most intriguing on that is Cody J.
Yeah.
To me, it only seems like a litmus test on like Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. I feel like that would be what they're going to do.
Is it going to be 70-30 for Jay, or is it going to be 50-50, or is it going to be 60-40 for, for Cody? Like, I would guess it's going to be 55-40 Jay to be like safe and boring. But if that's a way of like, it's a way to change this version of Cody Rhodes of like having to beat Jey Uso and Sami Zayn to get to that title shot against Cena and give him like some stuff to overcome and like be a little bit more aggressive and heartless to get there, and maybe have it change him the way that CM Punk's talking about what the title does to you. And is that like an impetus for Cody to turn heel? That like he had to cut all his friends down to win that thing back, and it's like hollow when he got it. That's like the rosy view of it, right? Or is it just like nuts and bolts of like, hey, we'll see what's going on. Adam has opinions on this. He wants Triple H to grow a pair and turn Cody. And Adam says that he's already a heel to me, Cody Rhodes, that is, and that he's fake. So
So I think, like I said, I'm okay. Like if they were going the heel route, as long as they tell a compelling story with him turning heel, like I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm invested in it. My thing is what I thought they would do. Here's what I thought they would do. So even though when they go to Saudi Arabia, which obviously none of us like it. Of course, we hate it, but it is what it is. They do what they do.
I like it. I'm just going to say it.
So
I'm trying to have the most contrarian take possible. So
if you have Saudi Arabia, those big main events, they usually don't do anything super huge. They just kind of go status quo. The guy retains. I've said on one of the post shows that I think it would be interesting if you have Punk beat Cena, because I'm not into the Cena heel turn. I don't think a lot of people are. Have Punk beat Cena, which is weird in Saudi. I know it's weird. I don't think they're going to do this, but I thought it'd be interesting to have Punk win and have Seth cash in. You have already a built-in feud with him, and Punk have been going at it for months and months and months. It leads into, and Seth would want to cash in on the main title. Why would he want to go back to the World Heavyweight title? Just in it because it's the less than title. We know that. I know he's had it, but if he has a chance to go after the WWE title, why would he not want to do that? So that's what I was just assuming they would do, and have Cody and Cena just build up to the match with them. Because I want Cody on the chase. I don't think Cody needs the title right back, but I understand the point of Cody wanting to get the title back and having a title match against Cena again at SummerSlam. So I understand why you would want the title involved in it, but I don't think it needs it. I think you can ultimately have Cody and Cena leading back to his eventual face turn, because this heel turn's been stupid. But but does that? I mean, I don't know. That's what I would think it's possible they could do. But again, the King of the Ring final, semifinals and finals are still intriguing.
And I mean, I think that's kind of the reason there's multiple courses here. This is the good booking of Triple H. Is this sort of stuff, and it's a tournament, so you can like play with stuff like this and not have to be like, what the heck is going on? Why are Jay and Cody having a match for no reason on a Monday Night Raw? Right? is like a tournament is good for that sort of stuff. So, and it's good. Like if I don't think Cody wins this tournament, I think it's Sammy personally.
Okay.
And you have Sammy do the Tommy Dreamer bit where he'll like beat Gunther for that title, and then Seth immediately cashes in on him, and he's champion for 2 minutes, 1 minute, and that's like a very appropriate Sami Zayn reign.
But see, I just don't understand why you'd have Sammy beat Gunther again. To me, we've already seen it, we've already done it, we've already played it, and then I know it would lean into, like you said, with Seth cashing in. That does lead to the Sammy, that could lead to the Sammy heel turn 2 there, which is cool, which is fine. I just don't know why you'd need to beat Gunther again. I don't know why. That just doesn't make sense, really, per se.
Who's the champion in between? Oh no, never mind. I know who it is. It's Damian Priest. I was like the in between Seth and Gunther. Yeah. Because like really post Seth, that thing has just kind of been Gunther and Jay and bouncing back and forth. And that's kind of what this title feels like. So, but like if that does happen, like I said, I think that gives Cody like someone will screw him over, and that'll give him a reason to like feud with somebody and not go after Cena, and they'll prolong that, and Cena will be champion until Cody's ready to go after it. So not as exciting as like kind of some of the possibilities you're laying out there with Punk winning and then a Cody Punk sort of situation.
Is that when do we think Drew's coming back? Do we have any idea like when he would be?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just taking personal time, so it could be whenever, and that'd be perfect.
It's him turning on. I mean, him.
Yeah, him screwing over Cody is great. I mean, that's, again, Drew's the king of 3 matches in a blood feud, not for a title. And he's like typecast now in that way. He's like the character actor of WWE of like, oh, I love that guy. And he's fourth billing on everything. So,
right.
Unfortunately for Drew. But, yeah. So, and then what are we missing from this? Anything else? Except everything else. Braun Breaker's over as I'll get out.
Oh, Braun is such a good spot. Oh my gosh, Braun is. I knew Braun was in. I mean, I liked Braun in NXT, but I was still kind of like, I don't know how much I like him. Mm-hmm. But the more they got him in the faction and just everything. I mean, I've liked everything he's done since he's been on the main roster. Honestly, I mean, him having the IC title was great. The Sammy stuff was okay. I mean, probably maybe the least of it, but ever since he's come in with Seth and the crew, I think they're using him very, very well and making him, him and Fatu again down the line, major money. Him and so many guys you could name. Him and Gunther eventually down the line. There's so many good matches he's going to have in the future, so he's in a great spot.
Him and Chris Jericho. Him and I'm trying to think of who else is going to bolt from AEW. Him and Ricky Saints, who's already bolted, etc. So him and Lexus Tang. Just kidding. Oh. Definitely not happening. Him and Ethan Page.
Ethan Page is doing really well in NXT, I will say. I like what Ethan is doing on the NXT show from what I've seen. The matches he's had have been really fun. He's a great heel. I love what he does with heel. I like. I mean, they've used him way better in NXT than they ever used him in AEW. So, yeah, Bronson Reed's still in a good spot. I mean, he's good in his role. I still think. I don't think they're going to add another person, and if they don't, it's okay. But I would love to have Ludwig again. I've said that before, but I'd love to have him in there. I mean, would he do jobs to people? Yeah, but put him in a higher profile.
With what group?
With Seth's group. Like, get Ludwig in there. Ludwig's been off TV now for quite a while. I think that'd be a fun add to that. If you're only going to add one more person, I think he'd be a good person to add. I know people aren't with me on that. I'm in the minority, but I think Ludwig has so much potential. I really like. I mean, he lost a lot, but I think now that he's been off TV for a while, if you get him in the right spot, I think he can rejuvenate his character again in a good way, and it'd be a good way to do it.
It'd be a good way to get Gunther over as a babyface if he's part of that faction.
That's true too. Yeah, if you're going to turn Gunther face, yeah, that could be a good way to do it.
Yeah, and then he can kind of be chewed up and spit out by Seth and Paul Heyman, and that would be appropriate for Seth's character and Kaiser's character as well. So. Yeah,
so there's some intriguing stuff. Like the tournament is intriguing on both sides. I mean, both men's and women's. I mean, the women's is intriguing too because you have Roxanne and Jade, which I mean they could go. I mean, I think Jade would win that, but I want Roxanne to be built up well. So I hope they have something with her in Judgment Day. I hope there's something in the midst with that. Obviously, Liv injury didn't help that, but we'll see where they go with that soon.
We'll close on this. Who do you have? Do you have Cody or do you have Jay winning next week?
Oh, Cody. Definitely Cody.
Yeah, I think so too.
Jay
I guess Cody or a non-finish. What's more likely to you?
Oh gosh, I'm leaning non-finish. Somebody screwing over Cody, but I hope not. I would rather just Cody.
But like a non-finish DQ, like where it's a triple threat in the final, where like both guys get to advance, or Cody gets screwed over.
That. Oh, I didn't think about. I don't think they would do that, but that's interesting. No, I think Cody's just I think somebody's going to interfere to screw Cody in the. Well, no, because I think Cody's going to win. So I think Cody's going to win that match. I think actually Cody will win the Jay match clean.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in the final he'll get screwed, or somebody will screw him over probably, and that's how they get out of that. But I think this match will be clean with Jay, because I do think Cody's going to win that match. So I'd have him go over.
And they like embrace at the end, etc.
Yeah.
Does Jay roll out all pissed, etc.
Well, yeah, because Jay, I don't see him turning. I mean, Jay's in a good. I mean, I think he's in a good spot where he's at. I mean, well, not in a good spot, but I think he had a good title run. I mean, well, some people think he had a good title run. I think it was just mid, honestly, but I think it was fine. I mean, the fans are still into him, and that's the main thing. He's selling merch. The fans are into him. That's still fine, for where he's at.
I mean, it's like, I think Zach and I went through it last week of like all the Kofi, Jay, Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger.
Kofi was. I mean, I think Kofi was better than Jay. Honestly, I thought Kofi was better as a champion overall.
Yeah. There's just the guys that you never thought were going to be champions that kind of get that groundswell. It's you have to look at those, and it's one of the better ones of those title runs. It's Kofi one, I would agree, and then Jay, and the other ones are abysmal. So Alberto Del Rio was on that list as well.
Oh gosh.
So
please bring him back with the AAA stuff. Please don't bring him back. Oh gosh.
I don't think so. I don't think that you have to worry about that. But we'll see. So on that, Sean, thank you as always for joining. Is there any plugs you'd like to get in?
Like I said, you can follow me on Twitter at my full name, which is SEANPLICHTA, and you can follow me on Blue Sky, first name last name. Yeah, I mean, I don't get on. I mostly just kind of get on to see what other people are saying. I don't really get to post a whole lot just because I'm always pretty busy doing other things. But I love chatting wrestling. It's fun. The community we've built here with Brass Ring Media, and I'm just glad to be one of the key cogs in helping out anywhere I can. And it's always fun to talk with you, man. You and I, first time ever, just the two of us. So it was fun.
There we go. We did it. And I never like when I host, so hopefully it was acceptable for everybody. I'm more of so I do a little improv from here and there. I'm a guy that has a wrestling podcast, so doing improv is just like another white guy in his 30s, infinity stone in my gauntlet. But I like to always not start a scene. I like to riff off of what someone else does.
Me too.
Hosting is always a little tough. So thank you, everyone, for joining. We started early today because I had a hard out at 9 o'clock Eastern. So thank you for joining us a little later. Zach and I will be here Thursday, and cannot wait for that. And we'll see you guys later. We'll be talking Dynamite, AEW, etc. Until then, thank you, everybody. Have a great night.